I'm Kayla.
Turn off your light? Turn on your nightlight? Turn on your nightlight. We should just leave it like this.
Yeah, and pour something strong or pour a sleepy drink.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be
I don't
strong.
need to tell you what to drink.
I'm drinking an energy drink right now.
I am drinking 2 drinks. I have water and I have a Coke.
oh my god, I might need
I remember
I might even need more caffeine after this, or I don't know, a new brain.
Cool. If you have more caffeine, you'll be up long after the story is done.
Exactly. So, this is Remnants. We're reworking our intro. What do you think?
It's a very off the cuff or whatever the kids say. They don't say that.
I don't think kids say that. You know, all the kids being like, off the cuff. Oh my god.
We're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
You have a kid.
Yeah, Ash.
Get him to start. Get him to start. Say it.
How have you been?
I'm good. I'm a boss lady now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm forcibly climbing that corporate ladder. Yeah, I mean, I have no complaints, and my direct report is amazing, so it's all good. So,
good.
But I'm like, oh, now I have to think about someone else.
She accidentally became important at work.
Yeah, that happens.
How dare you?
If you stay somewhere long enough, they're like, you should do something else.
I'm like, how about we promote you?
Yay! Although it's so funny because my boss knows me so well, because she approached me, she's like, so I know you said you never wanted to be a manager, but you're gonna be a manager.
I'm like, sorry, I'm forcing you to grow.
I mean, I think if I was she wouldn't have made me, but I just wouldn't have. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, no, it's good. It's good to do, and it'll be good on your resume.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm a teenager still. How can I manage somebody?
I know. I catch myself at that sometimes where I'm like, I'm just so young and early in my career. And I'm like, bitch, you're 33.
I know. I'm I haven't been the youngest person for a while, but I think it wasn't until more recently that I'm like, wow, I am definitely not the youngest person on the team. It used to be every time, in my 20s, every time I was at a job, you're the youngest one there. And you're like, haha, I'm a baby. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that might be ending for me soon because I do want to move to a younger field, I think.
Yeah.
Not field, but a younger company. But we have a lot of our salespeople. We've had a few younger ones pop up. I was working with one today that's definitely not in his 30s yet. And I was like, you do actually make me feel kind of old.
Right? You're like, oh, wow.
I'm like, that sucks for me.
But I know one of the younger girls on our team, younger women, she keeps wanting us to go to hot country nights, and the rest of us on our team are in our mid to late 30s or even in our 40s, and we're like, girl, no. If you caught me 10 years ago, totally would have gone to hot country nights with you. Now I'm like, that's
kind of fun, but it would have to be specifically
it's
on
at
a
Power
weekend.
and Light in Kansas City.
Never mind.
And so it's outside, it's summer, it's hot, it's country, which I do like country music a little bit.
If it was not at Power and Light, it'd be more appealing.
But now I'm like, where am I going to park?
Yeah, no, that's a big thing.
And then it's got park in a parking garage, and then or you got an Uber, and I'm like, it just sounds like a lot of work.
In Power and Light though, it kind of is creepy because that block that is Power and Light is fine, but if you fucking cross the street, it's so dark.
Yeah,
it's I don't want to have to be trying to find my ride.
Right, and
I mean situation.
I did that in my 20s.
Yeah,
and I guess you just. I don't know what it is. Do you just...
You still have the invincibility of youth.
I think so, because it's I don't even... Or just my anxiety's worse. I just think about all the things that can go wrong. When I think back at the situations I put myself in my 20s, and I even am a more cautious person, I'm like, I was an idiot.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm pretty cautious, but there are some things where I don't think I fully grasped what I was doing, and I'm like...
Same.
That could have gone really bad for you. You're lucky. But yeah, now I
exactly being well, this free garage 2 blocks away in the dark, like you were saying. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. No, now I plan everything out. I'm like, okay, am I gonna drive? No. Okay, where am I getting a ride? Okay, where are they gonna drop me off and pick me up? Because I don't want any of this to be uncomfortable.
Exactly. So I guess that's growth. I don't know. It's something.
I don't know if it's growth.
Anyways.
So my life update, other than corporate chaos is... So you know how the last few times we've recorded, I've been complaining about, like, allergies and congestion?
Yeah?
Well, it got serious, and I committed, and I got a flu.
Is this your first flu?
It was, actually.
What?
It was so nice.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I'm all hyped up on antibiotics. I'm finishing. I'm not getting Kayla sick. She's safe. But I also sometimes can't speak real good right now. So it's really good that this is my episode, and I'm going to try not to butcher anything.
It's fine. That's what editing is for.
Yeah.
Or we just let it be.
We're probably going to just have to let some of it be because it's probably going to be pretty funny. But I was, like, straight up hallucinating. Like, I already,
Did
like...
you see Men in Black?
No.
Little aliens?
No. But, like,
Hat man in the doorway?
No. But you know how, like, when your eyes plays tricks on you in the dark and, like, they make shapes and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That was happening much more, like, consistently till the point where I'd be, like, I have a curtain on my closet instead, and it's got, like, star patterns on it. And I was looking at it, and I was, like, convinced there was a little demon man on my curtain. And I was like, I am fully aware that this is the drugs and the fever, but I swear this demon man's waving at me. I'm like, just close your eyes, Emily. There's nothing there. It's not real.
Isn't it so funny though when like your brain is rational enough to be like, this is so stupid,
but you're still saying like,
but you're still seeing it, and you're like, it feels like you're like at two friends.
And I kept like having, like, I'd be awake, but I'd close my eyes and start dreaming, and I'd be like, what the fuck? I'm not even consciously thinking about any of this. What's happening? So, it probably would have been a great time to ghost hunt. But,
missed opportunity.
Yeah. But maybe next time I have a flu, just roll me out. Roll me out into the field.
What do you see?
Everything.
She's having an existential crisis.
So, I went through it. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we're glad that you're alive.
Yeah.
And sitting up.
I do think partially the episode that I have will be presenting might be a result of maybe lingering fever dream. It's one of those things like, I had a plan. I had an idea, and I'm like, this makes sense. And then I started writing it and writing all the points I wanted to talk about, and I'm like, does this still make sense? I don't know. So you know what? We're going to go down this path, along this journey together. We're going to see if I made any fucking sense.
I'm excited.
Okay, good.
I'm here for it.
Good, because I covered a lot of ground. Sort of ground. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm very intrigued by just the little tidbits that I know.
You're just going to be like, this is so boring, Emily. Why were you so worried about this?
No.
Well, let us begin. So, I'd say a lot of my early fascination with the paranormal on an almost like scientific or like parascience level started with the movie White Noise. It came out in 2005, and I swear to God, I fucking thought that Kevin Bacon was in it, to the point where I looked up White Noise 2005 Kevin Bacon. But what pulled up and said was a Reddit article that said Mandela Effect. Michael Keaton in White Noise, not Kevin Bacon. So now I'm like, are you sure? Because I have vivid memories of Kevin Bacon and all of Michael Keaton's spots in that movie.
Oh, wild.
But regardless, it was Michael Keaton.
But you're not the only one, though, so that is kind of weird.
Yeah, like, literally other
Reddit
people have thought that. But, like, the
Hmm.
movie, very loosely, it's been a while since I've seen it. I was obsessed with it. But, like, Michael Keaton's wife goes missing, and he starts looking for her by, like, becoming obsessed with EVPs. And, like, he's literally, like, his EVPs, though, is, like, he's looking at a TV static, basically, and he's getting messages from the TV static.
Oh.
And, like, I was obsessed with it. But, like, it was creepy as hell. But, that's kind of where my interest in, like, EVPs and, like, oh my gosh, how can ghosts talk to us? Like, what is this that's happening, and why is it in the TV static? And why is TV static so spooky?
Yeah.
Like, why is that a thing? Side note, the movie with Kevin Bacon that I was thinking of is Stir of Echoes, and that came out in 1999.
Okay,
That's Kevin Bacon's horror film. And a side note, considering that I was born in 1993 and that those two movies were fundamental in my growth.
Sounds like you were left alone.
Left alone with free access to television, and I fully understand why I now co-host a paranormal podcast and go ghost hunting, because I was watching horror movies when I was 12 and under. So,
well, I think that happens there's a distinct nightmare I remember having as a child, and I didn't really tell my parents about it till later, and my mom's like, well, that's the movie It, because I used to have a dream of, like, a clown coming up through, like drains and stuff, and I'm like, but I had this, like, nightmare when I was, like, 5, so I must have somehow caught, I guess it was probably the TV movie.
Was scary. Yeah, because it was, like,
I must have caught it on TV, because, back then it was, like, just whatever was on cable, like.
Well, I did the same thing, what I did, and I don't think this is how I saw these movies, but what I used to do with my parents, because we had a very small house growing up, and when they put me to bed, because the hallway where our rooms were basically, like, a couple feet away from, like, the kitchen and the living room. So I go to bed, and then I would wait till I heard the TV, and then I'd get out of bed, and I'd sneak, and I had my little spot where I'd kind of be, like, hiding behind the couch, and I would peek out and watch TV when my parents were watching it. Mm-hmm. It was always X-Files. I would always watch X-Files.
My brother and I definitely did that, but it was South Park that my dad would watch at night.
Yeah, no, so I think, because I think it was released as, like, a miniseries.
It was, and so I must, in the 90s, so or maybe the late 80s.
Because you might have done the same thing, where it's just like, ooh, I'm just going to catch little glimpses of what they're watching.
And it stuck with me.
Yeah, no. And that's why you ended up sawing, or not, you weren't sawing anything off of mannequins.
No, that was my...
You witnessed it. That was my I really twisted the narrative there.
Yeah, like, there was no sawing happening.
Little 5-year-old Kayla with a hacksaw.
No, my dad has a big World War II collection, and modern mannequins do not fit the much smaller people of World War II. Anyway, so he has the story of, I was like a toddler, and he's sawing the feet off of one of his mannequins so he can put the boots on it, and I'm watching, and he had the thought, I don't think this is healthy.
Too late.
But too late.
So, back on topic.
Yes.
Sort of. The topic is winding, so can we ever get back to it? I don't know. It's lost to begin with, but what you heard in the introduction of this episode is a snippet from a shortwave radio station operated by the Polish government from 1950 to 1998. Oh. The song at the beginning was produced by Music Box, like our intro.
Oh, I was going to say, that's creepy.
Yeah, and it was tuned to sound similar to an ice cream machine, or ice cream truck. Not a machine, a truck. And that creepy little German girl counting at the end, she wasn't even a little girl. She was a machine. It's a German machine called a sparse Morse generator. So she's repeating a code.
Okay, but like why she gotta be creepy?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot behind this. So let's get into what all of what I just said meant without going too far into history, because there's a lot. And stay with me, because there's a point.
I will stay with you.
So, what we heard was called the Swedish Rhapsody, or G02. It's a relic from the spy games played during the Cold War. During this time, many countries relied on shortwave broadcasts to transmit encrypted, unbreakable messages across the globe. So, many of these stations actually still exist, and they're kind of just on high frequency airwaves, and they've been discovered by radio hobbyists who literally just have shortwave radios and like CB. I don't know much about radio, but whatever kind of radio you can access these high frequencies, they'll be just tuning around for fun, and they just fucking find that.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's really cool, actually. But
it is.
It makes me want to go get a radio.
Yeah. And they're called, because I didn't necessarily say it, they're called number stations. So they're the specific, not some lost, some not lost, just stations that were made specifically to broadcast espionage messages. So, yeah, you can just You can just for fun be going around and be like, oh, Russian spy radio, cool. But yeah, imagine not even knowing what that was when you found it, though. Like, imagine just tuning to and hearing that and not knowing.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah. So these radio hobbyists, they've dubbed these stations number stations, and they report whenever they stumble upon one. It's almost like urban exploring radio waves. You just, you're looking, this thing's out here, and then you find it, and they're literally like, there are Reddit threads, there are internet archives, just kind of keeping track of all these things, what people have encountered. So lots of countries had these. It was a very common, simple way to transmit messages that could not be broken, because the code could be so simple, but also so it works. Yeah. It's simple and it's efficient, and everybody did it. But there are a few big name stations that have kind of developed infamy online for being so fucking creepy. So we have that one, the Swedish Rhapsody. There's another station known as the Buzzer, or UVB 76, and this is a Russian military broadcast that's still believed to be active. Ooh. It produces static basically all the time, but occasionally snippets of voices break through. So, obviously as ghost hunters, we kind of listen to static as a bit of a hobby.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'd like to take with a grain of salt the concern that, because I'm going to play some snippets from the Buzzer. Okay. And when you listen to it fucking sounds like there's things in there. Like, it sounds like there's things in the static. Maybe there are.
Yeah, how much of that is what we've talked about before, like audio... Pareidolia, or is it actually...
Right. Something? And that's kind of the line with these, is like, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, like, feasibly, there could be voices, because this is an active spy station.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But I'll play just a little bit of the Buzzer, because it's wild. It's wild that you can just find this, and it just exists at high frequencies. It's kind of loud. So yeah, that just kind of is there until they need to transmit a message over it.
Crazy. Because it's kind of like TVs used to, like, before they had something 24/7, like, they'd just be static from, like, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or whatever. Right.
Yeah, so it's like that a lot. Another creepy number station is the Lincolnshire Poacher, or E03, and that's a station that was used by MI6. And this is kind of what we were just talking about.
British accent.
Yeah, no. And it had a schedule so precise that hobbyists, as late as 2006, had its broadcast schedule on a calendar. That you can find the calendar. It's like, it's going to come off here, these times throughout the day, night, whatever, which is crazy to me.
That is.
Like, it's wild that it can be a top secret broadcast that they're only going to transmit, like, encoded messages through, but they're so well encrypted that they can just send it somewhere where civilians have access and have knowledge of their calendar.
Huh.
So
wild.
And, like, a lot of it isn't used as frequently as it used to be, obviously, or even at all, but the fact that, I mean, it's radio, which I guess during the Cold War, maybe not everybody was like, here we go, I've got this high-frequency radio.
But radios were probably a lot more common back then than they are today,
Right.
So maybe they will start using them again because no one's using them. Civilians aren't using them.
Well,
I don't even have a radio. Like,
yeah.
I mean, my car, I guess, has one, but that's not
it's not going to be high frequency.
Yeah.
And here's that Lincolnshire Poacher. So,
what does 39715
mean? We're not smart enough to know. So, a lot of those messages, specifically like the songs and like the voices, those are actually called interval signals. And basically, like, those are almost the bookends to the messages that will actually be sent out that are fresh messages.
Okay.
So those will basically indicate like, hey, an encrypted message is coming from this broadcast. You know who this is. Blah, blah, blah.
It's like a signature.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that's why like some of them, they're like, this thing is infamous and known to be like the calling card of like, there was one, I can't remember specifically what it was, but this woman counting in Spanish, her voice, this interval signal was known to be the calling card of like the Cuban spy network, basically. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
But, you know, all of this being what it is, cool, creepy, whatever, why are we talking about it on a paranormal podcast? So, number stations themselves probably aren't haunted. They touch on phenomena that fall heavily into the realm of the paranormal, though, and they cross over very closely to a lot of what we do when we investigate. And it kind of struck me as so interesting, and it kind of touches on the topic we talked about last time, a couple weeks ago, with phones and, like, things being in, like, technology and radio waves and all the things. And beyond that, like listening to static produced by the random magnetic signals that are in these broadcasts, it does something to your brain.
Yeah.
And, you know, like staring, you talked about it earlier, it's kind of like staring in the dark long enough to see shapes. Listening to random static can create auditory hallucinations, which is the pareidolia. Is that how you say it? Pareidolia? Pareidolia? That's a crazy looking word.
It is. So, like, I don't know, it sounds
I've been
good.
saying pareidolia.
I think that's how I've heard it. But maybe I've only heard it from you.
It's possible.
It's one of those, you know, you see it written out, but then you're like, I don't know if I've ever heard this spoken.
The only other thing I can think of is pareidolia, but I don't like that.
No, I think pareidolia.
But,
right.
You know, essentially what that is your brain trying to make sense of noise by creating voices and sounds out of the static. That is the scientific psychological explanation. And add on top of it the inhuman nature of the interval messages, and your brain is suddenly dealing with a heavy dose of the uncanny. So you've got the sound, your brain trying to make sense of that. You've got a voice that doesn't quite sound human and it's repeating robotically. That makes your brain kind of freak out, and it's like, this is not safe. Something's wrong here. So that's kind of why in these hobbyist pockets of the radio world, these number stations are considered like a dark, scary topic almost, because, I mean, think about it. If you're just in your room at night scrolling through these stations or tuning through these stations and you find that, that's scary. Like, that sounds like a ghost, like, it is in your airwaves. But, you know, stepping away from skepticism and science, paranormal theorists also have a different take on how electromagnetic signals and the supernatural intersect. So, let's talk about that.
Let's get into
it. So, a shocking amount of paranormal equipment and evidence relies on the radio.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know, most seasoned ghost hunters, like ourselves, I should say, believe that spirits can manipulate the electromagnetic fields to make their presence known. And everything we were just talking about, all of the radio stations, those all exist on those fields.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy how much just is there, and there's so many different frequencies and levels. Like, the radios we're using when we're ghost hunting, they're low frequency. We're just using AM, FM. What the hell is happening on those high frequency ones?
Right?
Like, I mean, I won't go too much into the basics because I know we've talked about it a lot, but the spirit box we're using, like I just said, it's scanning through those AM, FM stations. So,
you know, this, like, ties in. So I was listening to this podcast that was recommended to me about, like, haunted objects, and they were talking about spirit box, and then they started talking about, you know, those recorders that are very popular, the DR60s or whatever, the Panasonic recorders that were only, like, produced for a small amount of time in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, and they're very popular among ghost hunters. And they were literally talking about one of the reasons why they think that those work so well for capturing EVPs is because it actually uniquely gets high and low frequencies. And I don't know if I stole any of your thunder
No,
talking about that
that's
recorder.
perfect because I didn't talk about that.
But
So-
I'd love to find one of those recorders, but they're like $2,000.
No,
because
even
there
more.
was only a small amount of them were made.
Even more now that I've gone down this rabbit hole, like there's such like an intersection between all of it and how important like sound and how sound is carried. It's just like, because it's not just sound, it's like it is a force. There's a force applied to it. There's an energy. So it's just like, clearly that is so relevant to whatever we're calling paranormal. Maybe it's not paranormal, but I'm getting ahead of ourselves. So we use the spirit box a lot. We talk about it a lot. How Kayla and I use it, I feel like, is a little nuanced. I mean, the basic idea with the spirit box is you're jumping AM, FM. What do we usually do? FM
I think
or
we
AM?
usually do FM.
Yeah. So you can pick if you want to do AM or FM, but you're basically going to be jumping through whatever you pick at a fast pace. So you're like jumbling it. And the idea is that if you get a singular message or word or voice that comes across all of the channels, all the stations, that you're likely getting an interaction from something. Now, Kayla and I add some qualifiers, like, okay, we want it to have some sort of an intelligent response. Otherwise, it's probably just the pareidolia. We're trying to kind of make an answer. We also have noticed that when we get compelling answers, it tends to come across as a singular voice that is compelling. Like it stands out as the same voice across stations, which shouldn't happen. So we're going to play, and this is actually from one of our more recent investigations, we're going to play a really good example of this that we caught at Missouri State Penitentiary. Oh my God, was it last summer?
It was last August.
Jesus
so we
Christ.
have not done an episode about this yet. It's on the list.
It's a big,
so this is a
hefty
little
investigation.
It is, and we recorded a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's a big place and we
This
left
is
recorders all over the place.
This is a little sneak peek.
It is.
But it's very spooky, and it is a phenomenal example of what we're talking about when we say a singular voice coming across all the channels.
Can you tell us something about yourself? You said angel. Do you believe in angels? I believe in angels. I'm wearing my St. Benedict necklace.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah, that gave me chills.
and to just, we are at Missouri State Penitentiary, which was a big...
Yeah, there should be a kid
There should not be a kid's spirit there.
So, yes, we think that sounds like a kid, and it had both of the qualifiers I mentioned. It answered a question, do you believe in angels? And then it answers, yeah, and you can hear the singular voice going over multiple channels, and that's not a voice that should be on the radio, I feel like.
Not, especially this was at 2 a.m.
Yeah, in Jeff City.
In Jefferson City, yeah.
Yeah. So that's an example of a compelling piece of evidence using a radio wave and using it to get a voice. Quite clearly.
Yeah, like, I think that's one of the most clear
Yeah.
spirit box answers.
Yeah.
Direct answers to a question we received.
Yeah. And, like, this is just the equipment that we're using. We're pretty basic as far as what everything we do collect is pretty predominantly audio-based. Like, we're dealing with just surface level frequencies, but, there are other equipment that plenty of ghost hunters use. Like, there's the Frank's box, which I didn't look into it too much. I think it's a more experimental, it's more of the original spirit box, I feel like, right? Or I think it uses more experimental radio waves. Like, maybe it has better access than a spirit box that we can use, so it might have the high frequency waves. But it's the same concept. And then REM pods, those are using the electromagnetic fields too. They're just triggering in a different way, where it's less the sound and more the force entering their field.
Right.
Same thing with EMF meters. Looking for electromagnetic disturbances. It's just all of the things. And then, of course, you have EVPs, which is the electronic voice phenomena, which is probably our favorite.
Yes.
And that's different because it's not... We use our cell phones pretty much all the time, or a recorder. We don't have the cool recorder Kayla was talking about. So In theory, we're recording what we should be able to hear with our ears.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening. The point of an EVP is typically it's something you didn't hear with your own ears, which we have evidence of as well, both of a voice and of noise.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a voice.
Right?
We've got footsteps. We've got...
Yeah, that we clearly should have heard.
Yes, we have footsteps, and I'll insert the audio, but we have one of our first investigations at Waverly Sanatorium. We were going downstairs. It was just us. You could hear our footsteps. They do not change they don't vary in pace or anything. We're talking.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're hearing our footsteps and our talking, you hear a set of footsteps thundering down the stairs. Clearly, you can tell it goes past us, and then it continues downward, and then they just disappear. All right, back at it. It's 4:11. Yep, we are heading down. Yep. I wonder how many people are left.
At least 20 left. Alright. We're going to ask by the work. We can go into it. Yeah. And we're just carrying on, like, talking
and we got another set of footsteps there too that we didn't hear.
And those are almost creepier because we're like, and that one has video attached to it too, and we're just filming down a dark empty hallway, and we invite something to come talk to us, and then you just hear these like
We heard you just kicked a ball. Do you want to kick these little balls that light up that we brought? See how far they can go down the hallway? Bet they can go pretty far. Is there someone here that wants to talk to us?
yeah, that's so crazy. And we didn't hear those at all.
Yeah, and then
in person.
You know, our most compelling EVP, which, you know, we'll just say I insert those two. But we also have this one is different because we heard it in person. We heard a voice multiple times. We've talked about it. It's from our Velisca episode.
Mm-hmm.
Things like this.
But then there's also the other one that happened later that night that we didn't hear. That mommy is so clear.
Yes. So that's kind of more what I guess I want to talk about is the ones we don't hear, because that implies it exists somewhere beyond, in a field, like
beyond
in a
your human like ability.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. On a frequency we're not catching.
Yeah.
Because all this is about the frequencies and like what the hell is out there and feasibly what is existing that we're not even aware of, which is a lot. Like, I'm kind of beginning to feel like the world is just cluttered with noise. We can't hear most of it.
Maybe that's why humans are like made to not hear it, because we would just freaking go crazy if we could actually hear everything that we could hear. It's kind of like colors too. There's like a lot of colors we can't actually see.
So like, I mean, there could be a total science between what we're investigating as paranormal. Like, maybe all of it is some form of like, what's the word?
Multiverse.
Yes, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Residual.
Oh, residual.
That was it going back and forth.
Sorry. I was not on the same. You know? I just think one of my favorite theories is like it's just a bunch of overlapping timelines. It could be like or different dimensions, and where time is not linear.
Or it could be like I don't know if we're hearing quote unquote spirits, if it's just a residual imprint of a sound that did exist.
Like these like radio broadcasts that are just infinitely,
like there are things that are just
going.
Yeah, and going back to radio, the whole reason this started is like I heard that there are like ghost stories of sort of like of radio broadcasts like that are military or distress signals that just float around and can be picked up, and I didn't find like a lot to corroborate that, so I didn't officially put it in the notes, but that made me kind of look into it more. It's just like, that's really creepy.
Yeah.
And there are mentions specifically, like this is a very common maritime sort of thread of like there are ghost ships that have been found that send out signals, like they send out radio signals, and they find the ship, not a damn person on it.
Yeah.
And then there's also like there are stories of mayday signals that just go again and again and again, but there's no like source. It's just like it does happen, and it could be, of course, like things short-circuiting or breaking, like the cell phone story. Like, okay, this man who died in a train accident but called his family for the entire day following practically. Was his phone just broken? I don't know. It was gone.
Right. Like, yeah.
So like it's a lot of weird coincidences, I would say. And like the fact that these things do just exist and they're happening on the same frequency, they're transmitted the same way as what we're using as evidence for the paranormal. Yeah. I think is what, for me, I find very compelling. It's just an interesting parallel.
Well, and I think that to interrupt, but just an idea, like, even if you don't believe in the paranormal, it's like if it's capturing something it's still capturing something.
Right.
Even if you don't believe it's a ghost, maybe you just believe it's some random, I don't know, voice floating.
And like, what is it?
But what is it? It's something. Yeah. I'm going to choose to believe it's ghosts. Right. But if you're a very science-based person who doesn't believe in ghosts.
Well, and I still firmly believe that like it's all at some point going to be explained as something.
Yeah, we just don't know yet.
Yeah, and like it might not I mean, everything's gonna be supernatural until there's a scientific explanation. So like I feel like it makes sense that so much stuff here is intersecting with the actual like scientific world. That it's like, okay, we're actually doing some scientific stuff when it comes to ghost hunting.
We are.
I feel like we're seeing something that is existing in some way. But in what way is it? I don't know.
We don't know maybe how to fully explain it, but it's like I am getting something and it is not.
Right.
Yeah.
And so our friend Caleb, who we've ghost hunted with, and we reached out to him because friend of a friend knew him. We found out we have very similar interests. He does something really cool along these lines with tuning his radio and kind of basically doing a big spirit box session in his house, and he'll work on art while he's doing it and kind of use that to get into kind of a flow state. And he sent us some recordings from one of his projects that he was working on, and we're going to play some of those because he was getting some interesting things that happen. And it's just, I mean, it's kind of interesting because he's also kind of using that static sound to almost help him get into a meditative state, which is what, whenever we do like an Estes method, is what's happening. But I don't know. I find it all really interesting.
And if you find this interesting and you haven't listened to our Souvenirs from Sally Part 1, we spent, it was like a 3-hour chat with Caleb that we had to condense down to I think like an hour 45. But anyway, super interesting conversation about
much more about like theory and
not quite this, but if you find what Emily's going to talk about here, you could go back and check out that episode.
Yes. So we have 3 different audio clips from him. This first one we're going to hear, it looks like we're going to hear some humming that's being caught. You'll hear some car sounds. And it's recommended that you use some headphones for this. I have lost it. Here we go. I found it. All right, so here's that first clip from him, and this should be the humming. Okay, so in this next one, he is asking the radio signal to be changed in some way. And then halfway through the session while he's painting, these weird, like, radio blasts occur. And this is the description he's given us. So at first he said he wrote it off, but then he figured the phenomenon did match what he'd requested. So let's listen to that.
Yeah, and real quick, Caleb's big on, like, setting an intention.
Yes.
You know, and so I think that's...
Yeah, and we've been trying to kind of take that with us in some of our experiments and investigations, and it does make a difference.
I think it made a big difference at Villisca.
Yeah, because that's the first time starting a sort of EVP session or spirit box session where, like, we all set our intention. We set it together as a group, and it worked. And I will never get past that ever in my life.
Nope.
But here is that second. That's creepy.
That it reminds me a lot of, like, those clips you were playing just earlier, the like buzzer stuff. Like,
yeah,
that is super creepy.
Okay, so this last one he gave us,
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on that.
No, that one spooked me. Well, it's actually kind of wild because it's very similar to something else I'm going to play after this.
Oh, okay.
But it's interesting because it's kind of in a completely different realm, but it's still radio bursts. So this next one he gives us, he said his intent he set was asking for voices. And he's got 45 seconds of faint voices, male and female.
Whoa.
He said the scary part is that he heard this coming from his fireplace for years. And he said, I always thought it was pareidolia from exhaustion of my ears and listening to music while making art. And he used to think that it was his wife watching TV upstairs. He told us about this.
He did. I think we might have talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, and he ruled out, like, what he was thinking it was. Like, he was explaining, like, oh, it's TV, it's this, that, and the other. But it wasn't.
And he actually, like, caught it one time. I'm
Yeah.
sure this is also probably one best with headphones, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, most likely.
That's crazy. And a lot of times I actually sometimes find, I don't know if you want to call it contamination, like almost more compelling. Like you can hear him like moving, probably doing his art, but like then you still can hear those other stuff come through. Like to me, sometimes that's almost in a way more compelling. Like
and we know the way he does his experiments. Like it is very clean. It's very like he knows what he's doing with that. So like,
sorry, I just shifted.
No, I'm just like I was quiet because I was like so happy I got to include that because it just fits so well.
Yeah,
and that's a little bit different than how we do like spirit box because obviously he's got a clean set radio wave and he's setting intention and he's just sitting with it.
And then he's creating art a lot of times, I think, while he's doing this. So
yeah, and I could see like being worried about pareidolia in his situation where he's listening to it for hours, but he just gives us these short second bursts. And yes, we read what he heard, but we heard it very clearly regardless. And it's like, those are super compelling to me, and it just fits into the whole thing. Like, why do things live in the radio waves like that? It's just like,
what is it about the radio waves?
Yeah. Well, now that we've kind of dipped our toe into the tinfoil hat territory a little bit, let's just keep going. So, I could go on for hours about ghosts in airwaves and, of shortwave stations that are just found out of the middle of nowhere, or maritime distress signals sent from ghost ships, or maydays that never end. But we're going to talk about aliens. Aliens!
I like to be the guy from
Ancient
Aliens.
I almost put it in my notes. Aliens. So have you ever heard of the SETI Institute? I think I'm saying it right. SETI?
Oh,
SETI?
yes. Is this, yes, the, well.
It literally stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
Yes.
So, it's a whole ass, they've got a website. It's legit. They probably have a marketing team with how good it is.
Maybe they're hiring.
Yeah, maybe they're hiring. This will be what I submit as my cover letter this whole episode. They're like, this bitch crazy.
You like specifically go to, you know.
Yeah, I talk about you.
Yeah, the 45-minute marker.
This is my weird, confusing thesis. But basically what they're doing is they're kind of using their actual real smart person science to find proof of life existing. And this is so kind of like related, not related. I need to look something up real quick because I didn't put this in my note. It just felt more relevant to say now that I'm here. Is this it? Okay. Back to aliens. This kind of just brought it up when I was literally just saying what I was saying. So the SETI Institute is out to prove intelligent life outside of Earth. Okay, cool. There's this paradox called the Fermi paradox, and basically it's used in this community to kind of justify but not justify the existence of extraterrestrials, because basically the paradox is statistically probability wise there should be life elsewhere. Like,
yeah,
that logically makes sense. However, there is no proof. Like, how do we justify the probability of it being true with the fact that there is so much saying it's not? And that's followed up by something called the dark forest. I think it's the dark forest.
The dark forest is they're coming back.
It's like something like the dark forest. Yeah, it's like the dark forest like theory or whatever, that there is other life out there, but it's staying hidden for a reason because it's afraid.
Oh, that's kind of
right.
I don't blame it, but that's kind of freaky.
So like those kind of go hand in hand, and it's sort of a tangent, but it was just something really cool I found when I was going down this specific rabbit hole that I was like, I don't want to say it, but like, it's interesting kind of going down all of this and what we've been talking about to get to something where people are like, yeah, probably there should be something out there, but I don't know where it is. There's no proof. And that almost makes less sense than there being proof.
I've never thought of it that way, but that's, yeah.
Right?
That's so true.
So, kind of getting a little back on topic, and it's a meandering topic regardless, so whatever. I'm not really a big space person. I mean, to quote Project Hail Mary, I put the not in astronaut. But I had to. But, you know, I think we can agree that space is pretty big, right? I mean, like, might say infinite. Yeah. So, with that in mind, space producing sounds, in quotes, or blips within the electromagnetic field that just fucking exist. That can kind of be seemed as a explainable phenomena, right?
Yeah.
You'd think. But as part of like SETI's exploration and trying to find life, you know, they're listening to space as much as you can listen, because, you know, an important distinction is that we're not getting recordings the way we're getting recordings from Earth. You know, space is a vacuum. It doesn't make sound necessarily. But, you know, radio waves still exist. Electromagnetic fields and radiation exist. Signal patterns and frequency anomalies. It's all the same thing. It just isn't making the sound.
Yeah.
It still has the force. It still has whatever the fuck. Sciencey, not science. I don't know if I'm going to leave this, but I was really proud of this line. I was like, it's basically like a bat screaming into the void and seeing what bounces back. It was just like...
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that things are bouncing back. Like, there are things that are coming back to these researchers that some haven't been explained yet. And these are really smart people. They're not me just fucking rambling out of my ass. So, there is a signal called the WOW signal that was picked up literally it's called the WOW signal because, which I don't fully understand how they're recording it, but they show the anomaly that came across the radio airwaves like they show the blip. It's like in a pattern essentially. The scientists circled it and wrote "wow" with an exclamation point right next to it. So it was picked up by a radio telescope in Ohio in 1977, and the sound originated in the Sagittarius constellation, and the anomaly has only been caught once.
Oh.
So we're gonna listen to that. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah. And it goes on for a good bit. Which obviously this necessarily sound wasn't caught, but like this is them putting what they found, like they played the sound as it would be.
Yeah, based on the waves.
Yeah.
I mean, and space is a vacuum. It
Right.
should have no noise.
Right. And like it changes. Like it's crazy. So that's that. And
Wow.
it's something that
Ha,
like
that's why it's called wow.
wow, yeah. So there are a lot of scientists, you know, trying to explain what it could be. Like maybe it was a comet, maybe it was just some, I don't know. They have a lot of things that it could have been. But the thing that has made it thus far not fully explained is that nobody's caught a sound like that since.
Right, you think if it's a
Right.
comet, or if it is some sound that's just like
It should be
boomeranging around.
repeatable. Like
Right.
it should have been picked up again, whether it's there or in a different constellation. Like it shouldn't have been a sound that was only caught once. And there are others. I didn't go into it too much because I already realized that I covered so much ground in this podcast that I needed to chill out. But that was one that was interesting too, because it just felt so similar to all these other things we're hearing. And we're like, they're getting this in space.
Yeah.
In a different constellation. It's
Yeah, like not our space, you know,
Yeah.
not our...
So, you know, I
galaxy.
kind of, I don't go into this quite as much just for time's sake, because it's been a kind of a rambling thing already, but it made me think too of like abduction stories, like alien abduction stories, and how pretty consistently they are paired with electromagnetic phenomena. Like, I think specifically of any UFO sightings that involve people's cars. Their cars go haywire, their radios get messed up, they short out. Like, it involves all of that, like radios malfunctioning, static interference, engines failing, lights dimming, all the things. And it's just like all of these pieces are related in some way.
Yeah.
And like whether it's ghost hunting or spy messages or all these things, there's so many things that exist within these fields that we barely like know anything about. Like I can look at the different frequencies when I'm editing our audio and be like, I don't know what any of this shit means. I'll just go up and down and see what sounds good.
Right.
And obviously there are a lot of people that are so much smarter about it. But it's interesting when you see like where science and like the supernatural and the paranormal kind of align. And then it makes you wonder like, well, if they're so closely related, and if we're looking not only at the paranormal but also extraterrestrial life using the same means, like we're using the same thing to look for something different, or is it different?
Is it actually all the same?
Right. So that's kind of where I conclude this. I'm like, what does that mean? It's just there's a through line there of a human tendency to listen for signals and to listen for voices and anything, just making sense of the unknown. And, you know, whether it's human secrets or voices happening in places it shouldn't be, you know, ghost ships or space or in
A child's voice in a
prison
men's
that's
prison.
been closed for years. Like,
yeah.
you know, there's not really an explanation. There's not really an answer. It's more just like a curiosity of just like all of this stuff's happening and we're kind of using very similar tools to look into it.
Maybe it all ends up at the same place, the same explanation. We just don't know it yet.
I don't know. It was a rabbit hole that I kept going down. And I was like, well, that's cool.
I love
That's a cool sound that was found. And like, I don't know. And then you listen to the freaking wow signal, and it sounds like what Caleb got in his basement. It's just like,
what? I mean,
yeah. I don't know. I feel very like I'm gonna blame just coming off of a flu and a fever for this episode happening because I feel a little bit crazy.
No, I think it's super fascinating because there's real science to a lot of
and
this.
I wish I was like smart enough to understand it well enough to like really dig into it, because like what we're doing and when we're looking for blips and like anomalies in sound, which is what we're doing, we're looking for sounds we're not hearing.
Right.
Like I wish I understood it well enough to tune what we're using to kind of, I mean, I really want to get one of those recorders now, honestly, because it's like just knowing what's just floating around. I mean, and I don't know, it's just, it's interesting, and it's interesting that so much can be detected just through sound and through, you know, the electromagnetic field. It's just, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Maybe it's my lack of understanding that makes it so cool, but
no. I mean, that maybe, but no.
Maybe partly.
But no, I think even if you did fully understand it.
Yeah, and I was thinking too, it's like a lot of what we're talking about and a lot of what we use when we're ghost hunting sounds like really silly and like, oh my gosh, they're just convincing themselves of these things. Like, I know that's what a lot of skeptics believe, but that's how we approach things a lot, and we've experienced what happens when you find a piece of evidence that you cannot dispute.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I have no explanation. Like, I was here in this room, I heard everything that was to be heard, and yet somehow I have this sound.
Right. And
Or like, we had this whole conversation with the radio, and it was answering, and not only was it answering, but it was answering in a child's voice. Like,
make that at 2 a.m. on a Monday, make that make sense.
Yeah.
You know?
And then at the end of the day, even if all of that ends up being silly, it is very interesting that humanity as a whole is so compelled to try to get nothing to answer us. But like, there has to be something out there.
Right.
Like, as a species, no matter how it's manifesting, whether it's like religion or you're believing in aliens or you look for ghosts, we all seem convinced that there's something that's going to answer us.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of
something beyond our...
Which, of course, we can go way into philosophy on that.
Sure.
But just leaving it simply, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. And I feel like it implies that something does exist. Just don't know what.
Exactly. And I don't think there is maybe even a singular answer. I don't
know. It could be all the things.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know if we'll find out in our lifetime, but we're going to keep ghost hunting and
not
seeing
until
what
I'm
we
a
get.
little sound wave bouncing around.
That's right.
Maybe that's what ghosts are. We just all become sound.
That's true.
I mean, energy doesn't die, so...
Yeah. Just our little souls.
Our souls are just
bouncing
noise.
Around.
Just little space farts. I don't know, but that's my topic. It felt very much like when I used to be in like my literature classes, and I had to do an essay test and string together some sort of thesis last minute. But it works. It works. I was like, how does this work? It worked somehow.
Yeah.
What did I do? But I really liked it. It was fun.
No, this is like, I mean, I just realized this episode's an hour long, and I did not feel like it at all. So
no, that's good, because I kept looking and I was like, am I making any sense?
Which, of course, I like aliens, so getting a little bit into that. I'm trying to rein myself in from going down a lot of rabbit holes, but...
Well, I was kind of thinking that it was gonna, especially with inserting clips, it's gonna be a longer episode, so I would like to go into all of this more, because I don't usually go into aliens. Like, it's not my favorite thing to talk about, but seeing the intersection and seeing how similar, like, what we're looking at for evidence and what we're using to find evidence is, yes, obviously much more sophisticated when you're going to a different constellation than when you're in a room, but it's still interesting because it's the same mechanism at the end of the day.
Right.
And you're looking for anomalies. So, I don't know. It was just a weird parallel that I wasn't expecting. And this all started because I wanted to look up spooky radio ghost stories, and then I found these creepy number stations, and I was like, oh my god, what a rabbit hole this is open.
I love it, though.
But
I feel like I learned.
it was fun. It was a fun little journey. I don't know.
I guess tell us what you guys think.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this? You're like,
Emily
get
needs
back to the murder.
Yeah, Emily needs to go back to the doctor because clearly she is still hallucinating. But that's what I got for you guys today. We covered all the things.
So follow us on Instagram at Remnants Paranormal, and you can follow Caleb. He is on Instagram at Caleb_Harmon_art. So I think you can get to his like website and stuff there. And we're on TikTok at remnants.paranorm. Email us at remnantsparanormal@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You know, all the things. We're on Facebook.
Yeah, and we're very slowly working on a website that'll hopefully help condense this so we can just be like, go to our website and then find our things.
Exactly. Instead of us listing which ones do we have, which ones do we not have.
Because I'm useless at that because I remember nothing. but I can surely remember one link to a website. I can do that.
It's all right. I got you.
I just have to make the whole website first.
No progress.
Stay spooky and
stay curious.
Yeah, and listen to the radio. Maybe get a shortwave radio and
let us know what you hear. The ghosts in the machine.
Start trolling those frequencies and see what creepy things you can find.
Mm-hmm.
Start decoding really sophisticated encrypted messages.
Spy messages. Yeah,
that are basically unbreakable. You can do it. Yeah. I can't do it.
You can do it.
Yeah, I can barely speak a single sentence. But boy, I believe in our listeners.
You guys are smarter than us. Why are you listening?
Because they like to hear the dumb people.
Yes, it makes them feel smarter.
Yes, they're like, oh my god, I had to listen to this idiot try to talk about science for an hour. She didn't even know how radio works.
Yeah. I don't.
I literally looked it up.
Like in theory, I understand it, but I don't get it.
I was literally so fascinated. I was like, oh my god, it bounces off the atmosphere and then it comes back.
Like, what?
I'm like, what the hell? And then I was like, well, then of course, like, I feel like any EVP or whatever we're getting is just something fucking bouncing from, I don't know, Texas. It bounces wrong, comes back the wrong place. I don't know. All I know is everything is really fucking weird. So it makes sense to me that there's weird stuff happening. And I think anybody who's super skeptical about anything is a little bit silly because the world is really confusing.
It is.
So I think it's okay to believe in weird things.
It is.
Yeah. That's what I think. I keep checking my temperature. I'm like, is it back?
No, we're good. Well, have sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. I hope the little demon man from my curtain does not find you.
He won't because he's finding Emily.
Yeah, he's just living in the constellation in my room.
How fitting.
How fitting. Yes.
Well, toodaloo.
Toodaloo, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.